Hello, friends. Welcome to Trivia Over Tea, the quiz show podcast where we drink tea and play trivia. I am your host, Matthew Cook, and I'm here virtually once again with our scorekeeper, Carter Zenke. Carter, how are you today?
I'm great as always. It's been, wonderful week. Happy to be back.
Yeah, we're always happy to have you here. We have two new contestants today. First, we have Madeline.
Hello, everyone. I'm Madeline, and I'm happy to be here. Trivia games are always my favorite at family game night, so we'll see if I remember anything from them.
Oh, perfect. You've come to the right place. Well, thank you for being here, Madeline. And we also have Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I haven't been the best at trivia, but I'm happy to be here too.
Well, we're always happy to have anybody who's willing to be on the show. So thank you, Andrea and Madeline, for being here this morning. As with all of our regular episodes, we'll have 4 rounds of questions. You'd think after 83 episodes, I'd know how this show works. We'll have 4 rounds of questions today, each with a slightly different format. And so without further ado, Carter will explain the rules for round 1.
Well, round 1 is our first of 4 rounds. And round 1 will be a multiple choice round where you each get 5 questions, multiple choice questions here with 10 points each if you get them right. So just guess the right answer and you'll get those 10 points.
As I was running through something in my head this morning in the shower, in my head, I said, now it's time for Act 3, which is just totally wrong. Anyway, Madeline, you're up first. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, here we go. Question 1. The so-called lemon laws do not actually regulate fruit, but rather were written to combat defects in what industry? A, furniture, B, automotive, or C, shoes?
Lemon laws. I'm gonna say furniture.
No, it's actually the automotive industry. Yeah, if somebody says you have a lemon, that's probably referring to your car that has significant defects.
I've had one of those before, so I should have known that.
There you go. Yeah, the movie Cars 2, this is a bit of a deep cut. It's the only part of Cars 2 that I remember, but Cars 2 talks about lemons. That's how I learned the term back when I was much younger. Anyway, question 2. The Iditarod is an annual dog sled race in which competitors race across Alaska from Anchorage to what city? A, Nome, B, Fairbanks, or C, Bethel?
They go to Nome.
That is correct. The race is 938 miles long and has been run since 1973. It was established on the route that dog mushers used to deliver a diphtheria antitoxin to Alaskan natives in the Nome area who were experiencing a diphtheria epidemic in 1925.
It actually, fun fact, started in Seward and went to Nome, and then they changed the port to Anchorage because it's better for people to come and watch to get to Anchorage than Seward now.
Oh, interesting. Oh, good to know. Question 3. Elizabeth Claude Jacquette de la Guerre, François Couperin, Domenico Scarlatti, and Johann Sebastian Bach are notable composers who wrote many works for what keyboard instrument? A, the piano, B, the celeste, or C, the harpsichord?
C, the harpsichord.
That's correct. Neither of the other 2 instruments existed in the Baroque period, which is when those composers lived. Question 4. The acoustical change that occurs in the passaggio for all singers is necessary because of what? A, inertance, B, formant tuning, or C, destructive interference?
Is this the primo or the which passaggio?
We'll say the secondo passaggio for AMAB singers and the primo passaggio for, well, I mean, I'm thinking of the secondo passaggio for us, me, AMAB. Okay. But it's what occurs around D4. That's what but we're just talking about the acoustical change here, not any physiological change for AFAB singers. I should have been more specific.
Geez, Matthew, we only have a test on it. Can I have the answers again? Sorry.
Oh, sure. Yeah. A, inertance, B, formant tuning, or C, destructive interference?
C, destructive interference.
That is correct. Yeah, because you got to line up those standing waves correctly. Anyway, question 5. Which of the following amendments in the Bill of Rights provides protections against illegal search and seizure? A, the 4th Amendment, B, the Fifth Amendment, or C, the 6th Amendment?
Oh, shoot. I know it's pretty early on because it was one of the like original ones they kind of put in place against the British, so they couldn't come in and take their stuff. I'm gonna say 4.
That is correct. It sets parameters for searches by law enforcement. Warrants must be issued by judges and justified by probable cause. All righty, Andrea, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Question 1. Which of the following states includes part of the Ozark Mountains? A, Tennessee, B, Arkansas, or C, Mississippi?
B, Arkansas?
That is correct. The Ozarks are located primarily in northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. Question 2. Symbols such as upside down A and upside down E are commonly used in what branch of philosophy? A, formal logic, B, metaphysics, or C, ethics? And you perhaps will not be surprised to learn that this is a Mason question, because this is not my area of expertise. So, yeah,
Oh.
upside down A and upside down E.
Could you say the answers one more time, please?
Yeah. Formal logic, B, that's A. B is metaphysics, and C is ethics.
B, metaphysics.
It's actually formal logic. In formal logic, upside down A, also referred to as the universal constant, indicates the word all in the syntax, and upside down E, also known as the existential constant, stands in for some of. So
Just
there you go.
its own. It'll just be written like a upside down E in between sentences.
Evidently. I didn't know any of this until my brother sent me this question yesterday afternoon. So you're going to have to ask him. I'll ask him this afternoon when I see him, in fact. So yeah, I had to text him and be like, how do I pronounce these symbols? Anyway, question 3. Given that A4 has a frequency of 440 hertz, what pitch would have a frequency of 660 hertz? A, C sharp 5, B, E5, or C, A5?
What was B? Sorry.
E5. Yeah. So we're going from 440 to 660.
B.
That is correct. You multiply a pitch's frequency by 3/2 in order to get the frequency of the pitch 1/5 higher. Carter got a frequency question 2 weeks ago when he had to stand in for a contestant. So we're continuing to teach you about pitch frequency, Carter.
The more you know.
Yeah.
That's great.
Question 4. What Mormon leader was assassinated while running for president in 1844? A, Joseph Smith, B, John D. Lee, or C, Brigham Young?
While running for president?
Mm-hmm. Among other things.
B.
No, actually, it was Joseph Smith. He was a declared presidential candidate in 1844. He and his brother Hiram were
president of the United States?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, I should know that. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
he and his brother Hiram were killed by an angry mob in Carthage, Illinois on June 27th, 1844. Smith was the very first presidential candidate to be assassinated.
Oh my goodness, but he was already president of the church.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have specified U.S. president.
You're good.
But yeah,
I should have done that. So cool.
Yeah, this is Joseph Smith. More on the election of 1844 later on this episode, just as a little preview.
Okay.
Question 5. What state song of Colorado was released 50 years ago last month? A, Colorado Girl, B, Where the Columbines Grow, or C, Rocky Mountain High?
50 years ago?
Yep, 50 years ago, so 1972.
You see,
That is correct. The song by John Denver was released on October 30th, 1972, and it became an official state song of Colorado in 2007. Well, that's the end of round one. So Carter, can you please give us a score update?
We have Madeline at 40 and Andrea at 30.
Wonderful. It is now time for round two. So Carter, can you please tell us the rules?
Yes, in round two, you'll each get open-ended questions, 5 of them to be exact, on the same topic. Questions here are worth 20 points each. If you get one wrong, your opponent can answer for 10 points.
Alrighty. Well, so for this round two category, as frequent listeners to this podcast will know, anytime a presidential birthday pops up, of course, I have to ask questions about that president. And there's actually nobody who was born on November 9th. However, there was somebody who was born on November 2nd, which was last Wednesday, which we skipped. And so you both are going to get 5 questions about President James K. Polk. I promise that they're somewhat gettable. Yeah. So, Madeline, you are up first. Are you ready?
We'll see. I
Okay.
can't say that I actually know the name of that president. So
Okay. Well, here we go. Good. Question 1. Polk attended what institution in North Carolina, the oldest university in the state?
North Carolina?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what are the oldest universities I know. And I'm realizing I don't really know where like institutional colleges are.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say Harvard.
In North Carolina.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
um,
That's not correct. Andrea, we're going for a university in North Carolina.
is it Duke?
No, sadly not Duke. This is the school down the road in Chapel Hill, University of North Carolina. Sorry, Carter. He graduated there in 1818. Question 2. Despite being born and educated in North Carolina, Polk was the governor of what state in which he spent his entire adult life? Yep, back to
oh,
you.
this is me.
Yep.
Okay. Where did he was a governor for most of his
Yeah.
adult life?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, if he went to school in North Carolina, I'm going to say that he was the governor of North Carolina.
No. Despite being born and educated in North Carolina,
Sorry.
Polk was governor of what state?
Got you. Thank you. Virginia.
No, not Virginia. Andrea?
He's from North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm. From North Carolina.
Kentucky.
No, we're close though. Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah. A home where Polk lived in his young adult years still stands in Columbia, Tennessee. The Polks' Nashville mansion, Polk Place, was demolished in 1901. Question 3. As Polk was ascending in Tennessee politics, what president, nicknamed Old Hickory, dominated the state's political scene?
What was the year again?
Okay, I'll tell you that this guy was president 1829 to 1837. His nickname was Old Hickory, and he dominated Tennessee politics.
Tennessee politics, Old Hickory.
It's somebody you've heard of.
I know this isn't right, but I'm spacing on all presidents we've ever had, and I'm just going to say John Adams.
No, not John Adams. Andrea?
Andrew Jackson.
It was Andrew Jackson, yep. Before becoming president, Jackson represented Tennessee in both houses of Congress and also sat on the state's Supreme Court. Question 4. Polk is the only U.S. president who previously held what position, which is second in line after the vice president in the presidential line of succession?
that the secretary?
Um,
State?
no. Andrea?
Speaker of the House.
It was Speaker of the House, yes. Yep. Yeah, Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives. Yeah, he was Speaker from 1835 to 1839. So there you go. And finally, question 5. In the 1844 presidential election, Polk defeated Whig Party nominee Henry Clay, who was a former senator from what state?
Illinois?
No, not Illinois. Andrea?
Arkansas.
No, this one is actually Kentucky. Yeah. Polk won the Electoral College 170 to 105. Henry Clay sought the presidency numerous times and was always unsuccessful. 1844 was the closest that he ever got. All righty, Andrea, are you ready for your 5 questions about Polk?
Yes.
Okay. Question 1. Since Polk was a political protege of Andrew Jackson, what nickname was bestowed upon him?
Little protege.
No. No. Madeline?
New Hickory.
Oh, you're close. You're close.
Is it Young Hickory?
It's Young Hickory. Yeah. I think we can give Madeline half credit on that one.
That was my first, but I was like, no, Young sounds weird.
Yeah. It is in fact Young Hickory. TSC was Old Hickory. As a fellow Tennessean and the fact that he was a congressman during the entirety of Jackson's presidency, Polk helped promote Jackson's agenda in the legislature. All righty.
Matthew, did you mean half credit on half credit or
Yeah.
just?
Yeah,
Okay.
half credit on half credit. Yeah, thank you. All righty, Andrea, question 2. A major issue in the 1844 election was whether or not the U.S. should annex what state?
Kentucky.
No, not Kentucky. Madeline?
1842 annex. Like become a state? Like was it already a territory?
It was its own separate nation.
Okay.
1844.
1844. It was its own separate nation. It's not Alaska, no, because that was.
Is that your answer?
Yes, Alaska.
Okay, it's not Alaska.
Okay.
This is Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, the Republic of Texas had been independent from Mexico since 1836. Polk was staunchly in support of westward expansion and therefore the annexation of Texas. And it was formally annexed by the U.S. on December 29th, 1845. Question 3. For the first 2 years of Polk's term, the U.S. was at war with what country?
The first 2 terms?
Oh, sorry, I meant just for 2 years. For 2 years, not the first 2 years. My bad.
The first 2 years of him being
No,
president?
I misspoke. And actually, I wrote it correctly, and I just didn't say it correctly. Let me say the question again. For 2 years of Polk's term, the U.S. was at war with what country?
Mexico?
Yep. The Mexican-American War was fought from 1846 to 1848. Polk's reasons for going to war are dubious at best. Then Congressman Abraham Lincoln famously requested that President Polk point to the exact spot where American blood was shed on American soil. In the end, the U.S. gained the vast majority of the southwestern U.S. from the war. Question 4. In 1848, during Polk's 3rd year in office, gold was discovered in what state?
California?
Yep, that's correct. Gold was discovered on January 24th, 1848 by James W. Marshall at Sutter's Mill in Coloma. News of the discovery led 300,000 people to migrate to California. And finally, question 5. Polk was succeeded as president by what general who died just over a year into his term?
No idea.
Okay. Madeline, do you know?
I don't even have a guess.
What year are we in now? Are you
Um,
gonna guess,
This
Andrea?
is this is the election of 1848.
Oh my, a general.
This is a bit of a deep cut. I don't think we've had questions about this. Well, I'm sure I've written questions about him before. Oh no, his birthday popped up last year, I think. Yeah, I think I have actually written questions about this president, but it is a bit of a deep cut.
I'm only thinking about Civil War generals, and that's too
Yeah, that's
late.
a little late because he was, as I said, he died
Yes,
during his
so he
term.
would not have been in the Civil War.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alrighty, this is Zachary Taylor was the next president. President Taylor died on July 9th, 1850, but Polk didn't even live that long. He died June 15th, 1849, just 103 days after leaving office. Alrighty, that's the end of round 2. So Carter, can you please give us a score update?
We have Madeline with 45 and Andrea with 90.
Alrighty, now it is time for round 3. So Carter, can you please tell us the rules?
Yes, round 3 is a lot like round 2, but now you get questions on a variety of topics, and questions here are worth 30 points each. So if you get one wrong, your opponent can answer for 15 points.
Alrighty, Madeline, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, question 1. What interstate highway runs the length of the West Coast from the Canadian border in Washington to the Mexican border in California?
Interstate highway.
And passes through LA.
Passes through LA. I don't have a car here yet, so I'm gonna say, is the I-90?
No, not 90. That's only up in, or it goes east-west, but it ends in Seattle. That's probably where you're thinking of. Andrea?
15.
No, this is I-5. Is the only interstate highway to have termini at both the Canadian and Mexican borders. Yeah, Madeline, is somebody being from Alaska. It was a little hard to, I had to think about what interstate highway question I wanted to give you. So
It's okay. Yeah, I have not driven in the contiguous 48, so.
that's fair. Alrighty, question 2. What Alaska congressman won re-election in 1972 despite having disappeared 3 weeks before the election?
Oh, in you say 42?
72.
72. Sorry, you said congressman?
Yeah, congressman.
Oh my.
And his son ended up being governor of Alaska, I think, more recently. So if you can come up with the last name, we'll give it to you.
Oh. You said governor of Alaska?
Oh, sorry, he was a senator of well, okay. His son was a senator
Okay.
recently.
Oh my. Sullivan? Is that the last name?
No, not Sullivan. Andrea, do you happen to know? No. Okay. This is Nick Begich. His son is Mark Begich. On October 16th, 1972, Begich and House Majority Leader Hale Boggs were flying from Anchorage to Juneau when their aircraft disappeared. No trace of the plane or any human remains were ever found. Despite this, Begich won re-election with 56% of the vote on November 7th. He was declared dead in absentia on December 29th, and his opponent in the election, Don Young, took his spot in Congress. And Young remained Alaska's sole representative in the House until his death earlier this year.
Yeah, I just died. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
There you go.
There we have it.
Question 3. The soundtrack of the 1967 film The Graduate features numerous songs by what duo?
1967 duo. Oh my gosh. I'm blanking on any duo bands I would know from that era. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay. Andrea?
No clue.
Okay. Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Among the duo's songs in the soundtrack are The Sound of Silence and Mrs. Robinson, the latter of which was written specifically for the film. Question 4. The Gallic rooster sits atop many of the gates to the Elysee Palace, the residence of which country's president? Sorry. Yeah.
What was the name of the?
Elysee. Oh, sorry. That's just totally horribly pronounced on my part. I didn't try to do this ahead of time. Let me think about it in my head for a second. Elysee. That's what it is. Elysee. And the first two E's have.
That's the name of the castle.
Yeah. The Elysee Palace.
I'm sorry. What's the question now? I think I know.
Yeah. The Gallic rooster sits atop many of the gates to the Elysee Palace, the residence of which country's president?
Which country's president? Oh my gosh. Okay. Is it France?
It is France.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know why my brain just like completely shut off with French pronunciation. Yeah, don't tell Jeremy Frank. Anyway, finally, question 5. What composer wrote the song Widmung for his wife as a wedding present?
Robert Schumann.
That is correct. He married fellow pianist and composer Clara Wieck in 1840. Alrighty, Andrea, are you ready for your 5 questions?
Yes.
Okay. Question 1. What interstate highway, which runs for 400 miles in Utah, is the primary north-south route through downtown Salt Lake City?
This one's I-15.
This one is I-15. It's 400 miles in Utah is the highway's longest stretch in any one state. It also passes through Montana, Idaho, Arizona, Nevada, and California. Question 2. The action of undoing your last action in a software is commonly bound to what iconic keyboard shortcut?
Oh gosh. Control Z.
That is correct. Yes, Control Z or Command Z on Apple products. Question 3. What oratorio begins with a prelude called The Representation of Chaos?
Oh no, I know this.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I'm sorry if you hear excess noise from my end. They're literally doing construction in the house next door on this Saturday morning.
Lovely.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they couldn't know that, we were taping this highly esteemed podcast next door, and they need to be quiet. Anyway,
It's something German.
mm-hmm.
Dang it, I was just looking at this the other day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it Brahms?
That's not that's a composer. That's not an oratorio.
I know. It's in German. No idea.
Yeah. And if you gave us the English name, I'd take that too. But nothing. No. Okay. Madeline?
Is it Haydn's Creation?
It is Haydn's Creation. Yeah. Haydn's oratorio depicts the creation of the world as told in the book of Genesis. And I sang a duet from this oratorio in class yesterday.
Just sing the solo.
It's all good. It's all good. Question 4. Last week, Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva was elected president of what South American nation?
Argentina.
Not Argentina. Madeline?
Brazil?
It was Brazil. He previously held the presidency of Brazil from 2003 to 2010. he will succeed Jair Bolsonaro on January 1st, 2023. And finally, question 5. The Great Value brand is a generic product brand that can only be found in the stores of what retailer who also produces the brand? The brand is called Great Value, and it's found in what store?
It's found in one store.
Or what store? What like retailer?
Walmart.
It is found in Walmart. I honestly didn't know this. This was an amazing question. You'd think I would have known that since I spent an inordinate amount of time in the Walmart in Rogers, Arkansas this summer. But yes, it was in fact Walmart. So there you go. Well, that's the end of round 3. So Carter, can you please give us a score update?
We have Madeline at 135 and Andrea at 180.
Okay, now it is time for round 4. So Carter, can you please tell us the rules?
Well, in round 4, you'll each get the same 3 questions. It's known as our showdown, where questions here are worth 40 points each. If you get them right, you'll get those 40 points, and we'll ask you to reveal your answers at about the same time.
All righty, Madeline, Andrea, are we ready?
Let me find paper. I guess I can use my phone, but I won't.
Yeah,
I
you
won't
can use your phone. That's fine.
promise.
That's fine. All righty. Here we go. Question 1. New Orleans' airport is named for what jazz trumpeter? Alrighty, Madeline, what is your answer?
I'm gonna say Louis Armstrong.
Andrea? That is, in fact, correct. It was Louis Armstrong. It is the second lowest lying international airport in the world in terms of elevation, after Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport. So there you go. Question 2. Members of what rock band were deported from Germany in 1960? Deported, yeah.
Were they residents of Germany? Like they were just in Germany? Like,
Well,
yeah.
they were just in Germany. They had a residency in Germany at the time.
What was the year again?
1960. Okay. Do we have answers, Madeline?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Beatles.
Okay. Andrea? Okay.
I don't have an answer.
Alrighty. It was, in fact, the Beatles. George Harrison was deported for being underage at nightclubs. He was only 17 at the time. And Paul McCartney and Pete Best, who was the drummer before Ringo Starr, were deported for attempted arson. So there you go. Yeah, and this was obviously very early on in the band's
Wild and out in
yeah,
Germany.
time. But yeah, fun fact. Yeah, deported from Germany. They had been in Hamburg, where they had a residency. So there you go. And finally, question 3. What? Oh, so we're really, really close in score now, I see. Question 3. What multinational hotel chain planned to build an American history themed theme park in the Washington, D.C. area?
It's a chain.
Alrighty. Do we have answers, Madeline?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Marriott.
Okay. Andrea? You are both correct. You are both correct. It was Marriott. There were proposals to build Marriott's Great America Park on several sites in Maryland and Virginia, but local opposition prevented it from ever being built. So
Fun
there
fact,
you go.
I sang with Nancy Marriott at a summer program like 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
She's a very nice old lady who funded the program. And
Oh.
she sang Never Walk Alone from Carousel.
I sang with her last year too.
Really?
So weird. She like funded half of my undergrad school.
Dang.
The Marriotts are from Utah. And there's a city near Ogden, I found out yesterday, called, I think, Marriott Center. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a home in Fairbanks where my school had a summer program.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Well, I didn't realize that question would be so easy for the two of you. But apparently, wow. Okay. But no, good job. Good job. Yeah, it was Marriott. Well, that's the end of the game. So Carter, can you please give us the final score?
We have as close of a game as we can possibly have, with Madeline at 255 points and Andrea at 260 points.
Oh, well, this was an excellent match, back and forth the whole way. Well done, Andrea. You have won. Do you have anything that you would like to say?
No. My brain is melted.
Fantastic. That's what we aim to do here, is to melt the brains of our contestants, send them out to have a good Saturday without any brain power. Well done, Andrea. And Madeline too. It was a very, very good game.
Madeline is the best.
No. Made me realize I need to do a little more research on American presidents. Man.
Well,
Yeah.
you rated
I
yourself
think, like,
so highly on American history. I thought, oh well, I might be able to get away with it.
More about the wars and such, less about the presidents.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but well done, Andrea, on the polk questions. So anyway, that's the end of the game. Thank you, Madeline and Andrea, for being on our show today, as well as Carter Zenke for being our scorekeeper, and Mason Cook for composing the music. Today's questions were written by Mason Cook and yours truly. And thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to Trivia Over Tea on your preferred podcast platform, and leave us a review if you enjoyed it. And check out our Facebook and Instagram pages, as well as our Twitter account, also at Trivia Over Tea. And feel free to message us on any of these platforms if you have any comments or suggestions regarding the show. And tune in next week, or not next week, in 2 weeks' time, and we'll have 2 new contestants and 33 more fantastic questions. So thank you. We will see you in 2 weeks.